Callum, we've had the confirmation this morning that in the games between Celtic and Rangers there will be an allocation of away fans, definitely. Now I know there's been some chat about it, whether it was coming back or not. It's definitely happening now. Is that something good to see?
Yeah, well, it's a step forward from where we've been. So again, it'll add to the atmosphere, the game, and everything else. So I think it's a positive step forward, and let's hope that the experience is a good one, and then we can see where we can get to with that. But for sure, I think it's always better when there's both sets and supporters in the stadium.
Having played in games where there's been just one set of supporters and games when there's been both, just what is the difference when you're on the pitch and when you're taking in that atmosphere?
Obviously, home advantage becomes huge. It's a full house. Everybody's with you, give you the energy in the game, and very, very difficult for the away team to get momentum in the game. So that one's obvious. And then you can look at the sort of cup games that are a little bit more in the balance just because of that. There's moments in the game where one team will be up and the supporters react to that, and then the other set of supporters are trying to get a reaction at the players as well. So it just adds to the spectacle, and I think it's a good thing. So like I said, hopefully we can have a positive experience and we can maximise the game being at home, and then we just take it from there. Hopefully everyone behaves himself properly, and we can take a step forward again from there, hopefully.
In terms of the away game, it's a slightly bigger allocation than it had been previously. I think maybe 2,500. Will that be good to have a big travelling support, a louder travelling support for that type of game?
Yeah, of course. It's always difficult when you go there and you don't have any supporters. Then it's that kind of siege mentality. So it'll be good once we get there. Then we'll have a few more supporters in, making a bit of noise, and like I said, that hopefully that will help the momentum of the game and all these things. So listen, we'll probably speak more about that once we get to the games, and there's a lot of football to be played up to that point. But it's certainly a step in the right direction as far as I'm concerned.
You mentioned it's a positive step there. For you, is it something you'd like to see to go back to the 7,500? I think it was quite a while ago. Is that something you'd like to see come back?
Yeah, it was obviously a while ago now, but it was great. I think the atmosphere generally in the stadiums and in the games, it created a real buzz around the place. So listen, it's a big fixture, and we want to try and maximise it as much as we can. Every game that's on the TV then show the best version of Scottish football, and that includes the supporters as well. So if we can make it a really good spectacle, more people will watch and buy in, etc. So it can only be a good thing for the game.
And looking ahead to St Mirren, no disrespect to them, but it's another physical challenge that you're going to face at the Smiza Stadium. How does that change your approach to a game when you know you're going to come up against a physical battle?
You just need to be ready for the physical challenge of it. Obviously our game model and the way we want to play the game is try and take as much physical contact out the game as much as we can, and try and gain territory and make them chase the ball. So that is the template of the way that we want to play football. But for sure there'll be moments in the game where you have to stand up and win your duels and win your battles and defend your box, and in the main we've done that really, really well. Although we're a really good football side, we can also mix it as well. So we'll need that again tomorrow for sure. They're in good form. They'll be feeling good about themselves, and they'll try and start the game positively. So it's just the same message for us. We approach every game the same way, total respect to the opponent, and then we try and pick them apart within the game, and ultimately we're there to win the game. So hopefully we do a lot right, and we get the result we want.
And you mentioned the template in football and style you like to play. I think Stephen Robinson, when I spoke to him this morning, said the pitch isn't in great nick, and he hopes that's a leveller for his team. How challenging is it to play the type of football you want to play when you're in that environment?
Yeah, well, you get to this point in the season, right through sort of December, January, February, the pitch is only great anyway, so it's a challenge, but we try and take all the excuses at the game, and we're good technical footballers, so that's the bit we pride ourselves on, and if the pitch is poor, then it's a challenge for us, and we want to show that we can still play on that type of surface. So we've done it multiple times this season. I think back to the Ross County game, still frost on the pitch at that point, and we played ever so well. So like I say, we don't want to be using that as an excuse. Yes, it might play a little bit of a factor, but our job is to find a way to win the game in all those circumstances.
There's been times over the past few years where you've kind of peaked at this kind of time of the season, maybe going into the last 2 or 3 months as well. Do you feel that you're at your at that stage as well, you can do that as well?
Yeah, I think the team are in a good rhythm. Lots of quality options, quality players. Everyone's fit pretty much. So this is the bit that the players enjoy. Is you can see the sort of final 10 games of the league campaign. You know what you've got in the cup. So this is the bit you really sharpen the focus and give everything recovery wise. When you get the chance to play, you give your maximum, and this is the bit we've enjoyed. In seasons gone by. So the approach is the same, the mantra is the same. We've been here many times, and we just tick them off one at a time and see where we end up.
When you're now maybe reaching a stage where there's maybe one game a week for a wee while as well, is that helpful as well to have that as kind of recovery time? Yeah.
Obviously the recovery becomes important, and then the training time as well. We've not so much time on the pitch. It's just been sort of game to game and trying to refine the model within that with the sort of 2-day recovery that you've got before the next game. So what this does is it gives us a chance to train and gets everyone up to the level physically, mentally, tactically. We're all there, we're training every day, we're pushing each other, and then the game on a Saturday or a Sunday is the opportunity to bring all that together. So the week to week gives you a wee bit more time to focus on the stuff that we want to do as well.